Okay. Hey, good morning. All right. So that was YouTube. Let me just get everything else up and running. Good morning, traders. How are you? It's Friday. It's Friday the 14th, and we're trading the European session. So let's look at the first trade executed this morning. I did that via via the Telegram channel. And just so you know, this is stream number 60 in 2025. Stream number 60, and this is the European session. We're currently experiencing that the US markets open, well, for the US, they open as the same time they always have. But for those of us who do not live in America and are not experiencing summertime yet, everything for us is pushed for an hour earlier. Um, I traded the FTSE this morning, so I'd very much like to take you through that trade. It was a trade called first bar negative. And first bar negative is based on the 5-minute chart, and as I posted obviously in real time in the Telegram channel, it has a low of 8540 and a half. And so according to my research, I need to be a buyer in the area below 85. So if I was going to illustrate that, although I am getting very good at drawing in the software, I just want to do it a little bit different today. So the bar of interest is this bar here. We will mark that in a, what color should it be? Should we do it orange? Yeah, we'll do it in orange. Ignore the close price, I can explain that in a second. And so what first bar negative says is, if you have the opportunity to be a buyer below the low of a first bar negative, you should do so. Now, I'd like to show you something. When I reviewed the performance of first bar positive, which is its opposite, and first bar negative, so let's focus on first bar negative for now. Reviewing the FTSE, there were 20 trading days in February, and the first bar negative occurred 6 times, and first bar positive occurred 13 times. Now, just because there was 13 bars that the first bar was positive doesn't mean that I had 13 signals. So looking at the first bar, negative, So out of the 20 trading days, I had 13 triggers. And I'll just go back to this. So there was, I think it was there was 6 days where the first bar was negative, and out of those I had 2 winners and 4 losers. That is not terribly impressive, as you can see, but the strategy is quite simple. If the first bar is negative, you want to be a buyer below. Now I know that the the performance of it in February was not impressive. How can anyone say that 6 signals, 4 of which were losers, was impressive? No, I hear you. It was absolutely a hit rate of 33% and a loss rate of 66%. That's not impressive. But you can't look at something like this over 1 month. And I have looked at this over 5 years. And over 5 years, it comes out ahead as being a good strategy. And it's particularly good if you use the strategy by adding to your winning trades. Now, I know that it's not every single day that we are in the mood for adding to our winners. I acknowledge that adding is a performance element to trading. Say that you bracket the development of a trader in stages. So the first stage is perhaps learn about technical analysis and have an interest in the market. And a second stage would be that you begin to trade maybe on a demo account to learn the platform. I see demo accounts should not be used for trading. They shouldn't. Not at all. They should be used to learn the platform. So if I was going to start trading on the MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5, I would spend a couple of weeks actually getting to know the platform on a demo account. But a demo account should never be used for executing a strategy. It just shouldn't. If you think that you are doing something good for yourself by executing it on a demo account, on account of, say, muscle memory, I don't believe that for 1 second. You are much, much better off finding a broker where you can perhaps trade, I don't know, 1 penny a point or 1 cent a point. Then at least it has a tiny bit of tangibility to it. So a demo account is not for practice muscle memory, muscle behavior, or reflex. It is to learn how to use a particular trading platform. And so as you go through these stages, you begin to trade a simple strategy, but you can sort of use different layers or different levels to your competency. And obviously there comes at one point where your motivation is no longer enough and your talent is not enough, and that's where true performers step in and they use determination and grit. And somewhere in the higher stages, you begin to consider adding to your winning trades. Somewhere down here in the lower stages, you'd probably be tempted to add to your losing trades. But it's a hallmark of a trader in great development that they add to their winning trades. But I'll be the first one to hold my hand up that it's not every day that I'm in the mood for adding to my winning trades. Sometimes I do. I like to say that it's probably 50-50. So if I feel that the market can hold it and I feel that I'm mentally strong, then I will do it. This morning was not one of those times. Anyway, I digress. So this is the setup for first bar negative, being a buyer below prior bar low. Essentially, that's what it is. So I'm a buyer down here. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I'll discard this. That's exactly what I did this morning. I bought the FTSE down here. Yeah. That was the game plan. And the market didn't go against me by very much. Luckily. So that's it. I hope that gives a very thorough description of what first bar negative is for those who were unaware of it. As you can probably hear, I'm feeling it a bit this morning, for sure. Now let's look at the DAX on a 15-minute chart. We have a DAX that took out the low end of the range. So if you see yesterday's, maybe I can show you on a. Let me just clear out the lines on my software. So we had a deep dive this morning on the 4-hour chart, well below the last 12 hours worth of trading, even 16 hours worth of trading. So we basically went down to the lows that we saw yesterday afternoon. Here. And then a massive reversal up. Now, if we look at the DAX from the point of view of the overnight range, then you'll see that the school run, which is the second 15-minute bar, its trigger came within the overnight range. So rather than normally buying school run at above 652, now the idea would be to sell short above 652. I haven't executed a DAX trade yet. I felt that it was perhaps more important just to explain what was going on. So this is what we call the ante. So the ante basically says that how do I choose the color? I'm gonna imagine that it's this one here. No. Yeah. So the ante says that when the school run trigger takes place within the context of the overnight range, you sell short. the anti. Isn't there a text mechanism in here? I think there is. Let me just see if I can find it. Annotation. So, am I supposed to make this bigger? Oh, okay. Look at that. Look at me figuring out charting pact, huh? So I haven't taken that trade this morning, but I'm okay with that. I hope that makes it very clear. It's a beautiful, beautiful example. Really, really nice example. And that's day trading, ladies and gentlemen. Day trading doesn't take into account. This is what I call situational analysis. And situational analysis doesn't factor in the, the daily trend or the weekly trend. It's not interested in that. It's interested in the price action dynamic within the parameters that you have tested and defined. Bloody hell. Here's my account. within the context of this setup, there's obviously more than one consideration to make. One of them would be, well, what if we take out the highs of this 674? What tends to happen here? What tends to happen, in my experience, is that we will continue higher. When I trade, I always keep an eye on the clock. Always. Excuse me. I don't I don't believe that we will see a significant retracement from this. I think it was a highly suspicious opening. Almost a manipulative open. So the range of this last 15-minute candle was about 67 points. If I compare that to the same candle yesterday, that was 100 points. So when an index is as big as the DAX is growing to be, I think I started trading the DAX here with you when the DAX was about 15,000, 16,000. So now it's grown to 22,000. Does demand more on your stop loss and also on the preciseness of your entries. So why do I think it was manipulation? That's a good question. Say that, just for the sake of the argument, say that the ones that are really controlling the flow in the DAX are market makers. It is in their interest to try and engineer the market so that they are left holding the crying baby, so to speak. And maybe if they knew that they have a lot of buy orders, it would be in their interest to try and engineer some selling first. And maybe that is possible in the opening moments where we know historically that the volumes or the bid-ask spreads in, say, market maker index. And I'm not 100% sure that the DAX is a market maker index as much as, say, the FTSE is. But it certainly does give some validity to the idea that those who want to be a buyer, they can engineer the market lower so that they can buy at a more preferable rate than what it was an hour before the market opened in what we call the pre-market. Is it a conspiracy theory? I don't think it is. I think it's just perhaps smart market making. And so my hypothesis is that if we go above 74, this market will push very hard higher, well, very quickly. So there's 80, there's 82. Nope, retreating again. I think I'm going to delete this. Stand by in then the DAX. Wants to be a buyer below prior bar low. I'm going to buy the DAX here. I'm not going to use the 70-point stop loss. feeling particularly well. So I'm just going to move stop loss to break even and see if I'm going to get away with it. I just bought below prior bar low. No. Okay. Didn't work out for me. I just want to be a buyer below prior bar low. And I just moved the stop loss up to break even. But the idea for me as a short-term trader is to constantly be mindful of where's the market trading in context of the previous bars, highs and lows. So what I did here very simply was just to be a buyer below prior bar low. And got a fill at 38. It all a bit stopped out because I moved my stop loss up. I was 8 points in profit, and I thought I'm not overly in the mood for trading this morning. And so I'm just going to put stop loss at break even. Okay, so it was somewhat of a later start. I think I gave you a very nice first bar negative buy entry, and it was very profitable. And hopefully with this demonstration on the ante, if you took that trade, that would have been a good trade. So I think I'm just going to leave it for now, and I'll be back for the US session. See if I can nurture my some of you have commented on that I'm frequently ill. There is some truth to that. I think there's something that you may not know about me, but I do have a tendency to push the boundaries of what is good for me. And so I often find myself in a situation where I'm just spent. And because I am getting older, my recovery time is longer than it used to be. So yeah, a 55-year-old man with a 25-year-old mindset, that's bound to go wrong. So I'm gonna sign out from here, and I will just write up status, and then I'll see you for the US session. Okay, so look after yourself. I hope that this live demonstration of trades is of benefit to you. Take care, and I will see you for the US session. Bye for now.